Hello and welcome to Resin Crafting with Chris Collected. Today we're going to continue to use the high performance epoxy resin from Desert Rain, and we're going to mix this two-part solution. First we're going to use the hardener, and we are going to go to only 200 mils today. So this first one will be to 100, the second part will be to 200, thus a 1-to-1 solution. Let's speed this up. Next, we're going to use the Let's Resin epoxy mixer and mix it for approximately 3 minutes. This is not a large amount of resin, so we don't really need to mix it for a super long time. What do you think of these two screens? I've gotten it pretty 50-50 on this episode. I'm going to try in the future to try to focus on consistency and having them all be the same. Okay, now that that's done, let me go ahead and show you the molds that I'm going to be using in this video. First up, this one is a card holder. So there's a little slit in the top, and the front of it is a rainbow. One side has a happy face and one side has a sad face. Make sure to check out my unboxing life video and you can see all of my molds. Alright, next up we have these Martha Stewart ones. Both of them are flowers, two different types. I think one's a sunflower and I don't know what the other one is, to be honest. Put in the comments below if you do. But yeah, these are both from Martha Stewart. I actually didn't know she made resin molds. I bought these off of Mercari. Next up, we have the Akatsuki Cloud. I absolutely love this mold. I'm probably going to buy a few more of them just to make sure if I ruin it that I can make more of them. But I absolutely love it. It's this little trinket tray, is what they call it, but it's an Akatsuki Cloud one. So we're going to mix the resin into two different colors. So what I'm going to do is put them into two different silicone cups. Also, as you can see there, the side camera was down for a little bit, but don't worry, it's back now. I'm going to be trying to get a new camera here very soon. The left camera only has a 5-minute window that can do 4K, whereas the other one can do for 30 minutes. And so sometimes I forget there, I'm like, whoops, and then I look and I'm like, oh no, I missed a minute or two of footage there. But it's alright, we'll keep improving in the future. That's guys, we're the house of improvements. Alright, pop any bubbles that we can, and let's go ahead and put the silver from Stewart Simple. This is an eco glitter out of England. And it is a sinking glitter, it's not going to float. And this one is like a cheap one that I got from Michael's. And it's just some standard gold glitter, also going to be sinking. I wanted the front of the rainbow just to be covered in glitter. This is a little package that I got off AliExpress. If you look on the unboxing live video, you can get a better view of it. Next up, we have this tangerine powder. I have not used this one yet, but I knew it would be an awesome color to use for this rainbow. I wanted it just to be bright and cheerful. I know it's winter, but man, oh man, I can't wait for it to be summer again. There's a reason why I live in Phoenix, Arizona, is because I like it hot. And that color sure is hot. Look how bright that is. Next up, we're going to use some hot cocoa. The idea here is, because it's still winter time, I was like, ooh, I do love this little hot cocoa. And I hadn't used that color yet, and I was like, I wonder what it comes. And man, it does become a beautiful brownish black. It really, like, hot cocoa was a great name for this. See, look at that. Doesn't that just look like a cup of cocoa? Let's go ahead and pop these bubbles and get to pouring. Pour nice and steady all the way to the top. let's push it to the front and get those 2 flowers done. Pop any little bubbles, as that's been waiting, so all the bubbles went to the top. Okay, now let's get these 2 pushed out of the way, and we'll get that 3rd and final one done. It kind of looks like a sad face. Like a squished little face. Alright, next up, the idea I had here was I'm going to use the rest of that cocoa and mix it with this tangerine. And the idea was almost like coffee with creamer in it. So the tangerine was going to be like creamer, and then of course the hot cocoa would be like coffee or any kind of like hot drink like that. And it turned out wonderful. Unfortunately, when I demolded it, I put it in an awkward position and the left side kind of collapsed. I'll show you in the images in the end. It was a little strange, and I'm very sad about it because, man, it looks perfect. It looks exactly like I was going for, which is like coffee that has creamer in it, and it looks perfect. But, you know, whatever, it is what it is. That's the thing about resin, right? It's like, if you end up breaking something or messing with it, okay, we'll just make another. The mold still works, you know what I mean? So, it's at the end of the day, not the end of the world. But it was so perfect. I was like, oh man, I was gonna use that. And I'm gonna bring these with me. I'm gonna make 1 or 2 more and then bring them with me to my market events and then have all my free stickers in there. So that was kind of the idea. I wanted something that could hold my stickers, but also be visually interesting, not just like, you know, something from Michael's that's just a clear acrylic or something. I want something interesting, people look at it and then go, hey, do you make this? What is it? You know, and hopefully that way they can come and watch the videos. Okay, finally, I actually did have a little bit of extra resin. You know, not too much, but just a little bit of extra resin. And so what we're going to do is fill up half of this little Monstera leaf. And then next time, I'll fill in more of it, because it wasn't enough for the full thing. But that's fine. And actually, this was pretty cool too. What ended up happening was, it was so cold, when I went to go pick it up off this tray, it actually shattered. But because resin it wasn't fully hard yet, it shattered, and then I just left it there, and it basically kind of melted back together. Very fascinating. Resin is such an interesting medium. It can be extremely forgiving when it's liquid, and extremely non-forgiving when it's solid. And it's just so interesting. And so what I'm doing here is I'm taking out a few bits of that dark, and I decided to put it on the stem, so that way you would have like a dark stem to it, and then have it slowly turn into the orange. So I'm just trying to move it around, get it to the full bottom of it. And in fact, I should have done even more, because when I went to go check it the next day, that I had over-domed it. If you kind of look in the left image, it's like too much is in that mold, and so it does actually end up like going over the sides. So that tray is ruined. I woke up the next day and that tray had, so much resin in it. And I was like, oh, that's done. Okay, everyone, thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully you enjoy the images. And check out my Patreon if you want to see a demolding video. Thanks.